Have you ever felt like your energy is being drained for no reason, as if something inside you is being sucked out by the world around you? It's not an illusion. When you're an empath, you pick up on everything. The silent pain of others, their hidden anger, even their wounds, they don't even recognize themselves. You become a receptacle for emotions that aren't your own, and little by little, you drift away from your own inner voice. But here's the truth. It's not you who are too sensitive. It's the world that has never taught you to protect your inner space. In this journey we are about to share, you will understand why preserving your energy is not a luxury, but a sacred necessity. You will discover how to set boundaries, detach yourself healthily, purify your space, and above all, become a sovereign being capable of shining without exhaustion. Stay tuned, because what you are about to hear could transform the way you experience your sensitivity, no longer as a burden, but as a strength. There are days when you wake up feeling unexplained. You haven't spoken to anyone yet, you haven't even opened your phone, and yet your body already feels heavy, your mind saturated. For many, it's just a bad night. But if you're an empath, you know it's not that. You pick up on invisible waves, unspoken emotions, tensions floating in the air. You're like an antenna, permanently tuned to a frequency that no one else hears, but which pierces you straight through. This phenomenon is not imaginary. It is real, tangible, even if others do not always understand it. Today's world is filled with noise, agitation, and repressed pain. And because you are sensitive, you absorb everything, even what you do not seek to take in. This is why you can walk into a room and immediately sense what is wrong, even if no one has said a word. But this gift is also a burden. It exhausts you because it makes you carry burdens that are not yours. Most empaths mistake this fatigue for personal weakness. They believe they are not strong enough, not disciplined enough, not resilient enough. Yet the truth is simple. It is not you who are too sensitive. It is the world that is pouring down on you more than you should be carrying. You grew up thinking this was normal, that it was your role to listen, to care, to console. But this role has become an invisible prison. So, there's one fundamental thing to understand. Your sensitivity isn't a curse, but a raw power that needs to be protected. The problem isn't what you feel, but what you let in unfiltered. When you can't distinguish what's yours from what belongs to others, you become a reservoir of foreign pain. And the more you accumulate, the more your vital energy becomes diluted. The invisible weight you suffer is a direct consequence of this lack of separation. It's not about rejecting the world or closing your heart, but about learning to recognize your own inner limits. Until you do, you'll continue to believe that you're the problem. When in reality, the key is there. Seeing that you're carrying burdens that aren't yours, and that it's time to free yourself from this invisible weight. Since childhood, you've probably been told certain phrases that sounded normal, but were actually invisible chains. Respect your parents, no matter what they do. Turn the other cheek. Love always forgives. These beliefs, rooted in culture, family, or even misunderstood spirituality, have caused entire generations of empaths to remain silent in the face of emotional abuse, to forget themselves to keep the peace, and to confuse loyalty with emotional slavery. If you're sensitive, you've probably carried this confusion more strongly than others. You've been told that setting boundaries is selfish. You've been led to believe that leaving a toxic relationship, even a family relationship, is a sign of weakness or cruelty. And by dint of hearing these things, you've internalized the idea that protecting your energy is a moral failing. This is a lie. Here's a truth you haven't been told. Love without respect isn't love. It's addiction, manipulation, a way for the other person to take your light without ever giving back. And if you accept this, you're teaching your own mind that your worth depends on how much pain you can tolerate. It's time to deconstruct these toxic beliefs, one by one. No, remaining loyal to people who destroy your peace is not a sign of love, but of conditioning. No, tolerating disrespect is not an act of spiritual maturity, but a pointless sacrifice. No, you were not born to mend the wounds that others refuse to face. Deconstructing these beliefs is like removing a veil that clouded your vision. Suddenly, you see that certain values you were taught were not for your own good, but for the comfort of those who took advantage of your docility. You were trained to believe that your role was to serve, to soothe, to absorb. In reality, your role is to become whole, aligned, and conscious. This process is uncomfortable because it requires you to shatter the good guy image you've carried your entire life. But it's in this shattering that true clarity is born. Protecting your energy isn't about betraying those close to you. It's about refusing to betray your own soul. And if that makes you the selfish one in the eyes of others, then it's better to be accused of selfishness than to continue dying a slow death under the weight of toxic beliefs that aren't yours. Imagine you've been carrying a backpack for years. Every time a loved one takes out their frustrations on you, another rock is added. Every time you agree to stay in a relationship that's draining you, another rock is added. Every time you force yourself to smile when you're broken inside, another rock is added. And one day, that bag is so heavy that you can't move forward. This is what most empaths experience. They're carrying a weight that doesn't belong to them. Detachment is the only way to lay down that bag. But be careful, it's not cold indifference. Healthy detachment isn't abandoning the other person. It's choosing to no longer sacrifice yourself for dynamics that destroy your inner peace. It's looking at a situation and saying, I may love you, but I will no longer carry your chaos. The problem is that many people still confuse detachment with cruelty. You'll be told you're tough, that you've changed, that you lack heart. But in reality, it's quite the opposite. Detachment is a sign of deep love. Love for yourself, but also respect for the other person. Because by staying in an unhealthy relationship, you allow the toxicity to continue. By detaching yourself, you force the other person to face their own shadows, instead of projecting them indefinitely onto you. Carl Jung spoke of individuation, the process of becoming oneself by ceasing to play roles imposed by society, family, or fear. For an empath, individuation inevitably involves this detachment. You cannot discover your true essence as long as you remain locked into the role of savior. You cannot embody your power as long as you agree to be the emotional crutch for those who refuse to walk alone. Detachment is learning to say no without trembling. It's leaving a room where your presence is disrespected. It's cutting ties with a parent, a friend, a partner, if that connection only fuels suffering. It's not easy because guilt always creeps in. But guilt isn't a truth. It's conditioning. Every time you dare to detach yourself, you free a part of your energy. You can finally reinvest this energy in your art, your mission, your inner peace. You then understand that protecting your space is not about closing your heart, but finally giving it the oxygen it needs to beat freely. We often talk about taking care of our bodies, eating a balanced diet, staying hydrated, getting enough sleep. But who taught you how to take care of your energy? No one. Yet, if you're an empath, your energy is your most precious asset, and without proper energy hygiene, you'll exhaust yourself without even understanding why. Look around you. Is your phone a tool or a prison? Every notification, every unwanted message, every stream of anxiety-inducing images acts like a small energy drain. You think you're simply scrolling, but in reality, you're absorbing the collective panic, fear, and anger projected across the screen. Then you wonder why you feel drained. Look at your living space. How many objects do you keep that still belong to moments or people who hurt you? These objects are not neutral. They contain an energetic charge. Every time you look at them, they unconsciously awaken fragments of the past that weigh down your inner field. Look at your relationships. Do your conversations lift you up or drag you down? Do you feel nourished after talking with this person, or drained as if you've just run an invisible marathon? If the answer is the latter, you're not in a balanced relationship, but in a parasitic dynamic. energetic hygiene begins with simple but powerful actions. Cut off what pollutes you. Block a number that keeps bringing you back to the same toxic cycle. Free your space of anything that carries heavy memories. Meditate, not to seek spectacular visions, but simply to release what is not you. Even a simple breathing ritual with the intention of shedding foreign energies can transform your inner state. Repeat this phrase to yourself every time you feel a heaviness that isn't yours. If it drains me, it doesn't deserve me. It's not an escape, it's a filter. A way to distinguish what should stay in your space and what should leave. Carl Jung might not have used these words to describe energetic hygiene, but he knew that our psychic boundaries are essential. If you don't take care of them, you become a sponge soaked in the suffering of others. If you do, you become a clear channel, capable of welcoming your own visions, your own intuitions. This is not superstition. It is a conscious choice to protect the only truly sacred space you possess, your life force. A tired empath often ends up wondering, what if I'm the problem? But the truth is, you're not the problem. You're the light that's been smothered by expectations, beliefs, and burdens that weren't yours. Your mission was never to fix the whole world, but to remember who you really are. To become a lighthouse again is to understand one essential thing. Your energy is not meant to be scattered in 1,000 directions. It is meant to shine forth, clear, steady, and grounded. A lighthouse does not chase ships. It does not beg to be seen. It stands, unwavering, and lets its light speak for itself. Ships seeking a path use it. Others pass by without approaching it. But the lighthouse remains. This is exactly what you are called to embody. Stop chasing those who don't respect you. Stop proving your worth to those who will never see it. Stop reducing yourself to be accepted. Your role is not to be digestible, but to be true. Becoming a beacon again means saying no without explanation. It means rejecting the bonds that consume you. It means choosing your projects, your relationships, and your habits based on what aligns your energy, not what soothes the fear of displeasing. And this choice isn't cruelty, it's clarity. When you dare to make this inner repositioning, something profound changes around you. The right people appear, not those who want to exploit your sensitivity, but those who respect it. Not those who love your pain, but those who love your power. And this change doesn't come from outside, but from within. The more you assert your boundaries, the clearer your light becomes, and the more it attracts what is right for you. Becoming a beacon again also means accepting that you will be misunderstood. Some will accuse you of harshness, distance, or radical change. But these reactions are only a reflection of what you no longer nurture. It's not up to you to convince them. It's up to them to grow. Your responsibility is not to save those who reject the light, but to keep yours alive. Your essence has never been to be a burden to yourself. It is to be a force of clarity, wisdom, and silent guidance. You have nothing to prove. You only have to shine. And that light, no one has the right to diminish unless you let it go out. You weren't created to be the world's emotional sponge. You're here to shine, to transform, to build a life that reflects your truth. And that begins with a clear choice. To protect your energy, like you would protect something sacred. Remember, saying no isn't coldness, it's clarity. Setting boundaries isn't cruelty, it's self-respect. And letting go of burdens that aren't yours is the most spiritual act you can take to reclaim your light. If this message resonates with you, don't let it fade away. Share it, comment on it, and commit to practicing energy hygiene today. The clearer you are in your energy, the more the world will see your light for what it truly is. A guide, a landmark, a beacon.